From the clips in Iron Man 1 to Love and Thunder, the MCU is chock full of hilarious bloopers. Today, we'll be going over the funniest outtakes from the universe. Hold on tight to your seats because we'll have you rolling on the floors. Plus, you might even get pissed at the MCU for cutting these out. Keep watching if you're interested in finding out which one of your favorite movies made it to the list. Starting off with Stan Lee and his cameos. Stan Lee's cameos have always been a highlight in many Marvel movies. The legendary Marvel creator has had some very exciting moments over the years, and one of his most memorable appearances happens at the end of Captain America Civil War, where Tony Stark is seen visiting James Rhodes as he's going through physical therapy. Then a knock at the window reveals a delivery guy, played by, you guessed it, Stan Lee, announcing that he has a package for Tony Stank. Rhodes replies to the delivery driver that there is in fact a Tony Stank in the compound without correcting him. In the blooper reels, we get to see an alternate take where Lee says Robert Stank instead of Tony Stank. Now, this could be either an innocent mistake or Lee being a goof. We don't know. All we know is that it made us and everyone on the Captain America Civil War set laugh. Next, Thor the God of Thunder. In Avengers Infinity War, Thor goes through the ringer and it all circles back to Thanos. During a scene where the Avengers need as many fighters as possible to fight the ruthless monster Thanos, Thor arrives in a dramatic fashion in Wakanda. Now, this is when the God of Thunder comes ready to get his revenge on the Titan from the moon. He retains his sense of humor and passes cheeky remarks during the scene. And right in the middle of the war, Thor tells Captain America, "Notice you copied my beard," adding comic relief to an otherwise serious scene. During the filming of some of these Wakanda scenes, there was thunder in the distance, interrupting the shot. This led Chris Hemsworth to claim responsibility for the weather and apologize for the inconvenience. The actor is seen laughing at his own joke in the blooper. The joke was really funny, we'll give him that. And then, Chris Evans. Chris Evans has played Captain America for quite a while, but the blooper we're talking about today isn't from the actor's own franchise, but Spider-Man Homecoming. Spider-Man's first solo movie on the MCU features a ton of great comedic scenes. As tempted as we are to discuss the shenanigans of the young stars of the movie, we can't help but highlight Cap's inability to say hot lunch without bursting out laughing. Throughout the movie, Captain America is shown lecturing students on everything from physical fitness to detentions. In this blooper, Cap gives his speech on the importance of hot lunch, which he can't say with a straight face, and we honestly can't blame him. Also, Captain America and the lock. We're all aware that Cap's shield pretty much defies the laws of physics and can break almost anything. Well, anything except for this one lock that we see in a scene from Captain America's Winter Soldier, where Black Widow and Cap break into an old Hydra base. We see him smash the lock into pieces with one smooth hit, but the bloopers revealed how Chris Evans struggled to break the lock while shooting the scene. In fact, he was so thrilled when he finally broke the lock that he jumped out in joy. LMAO. Moving on, Natalie Portman sucks at fake slaps. In Thor the Dark World, when the God of Thunder is reunited with Jane, played by Portman, she slaps him across the face just to make sure he's real. You wouldn't know it by watching that scene, but in reality, Portman's inability to keep a straight face after the hit led to some 40 retakes. Yikes, poor Thor and his cheeks. We all know Hemsworth can take a hit or two. Look at the size of that man after all. So we're only guessing that a few hits from Natalie wouldn't have hurt the God of Thunder. Unfortunately for him, Natalie's fake slaps weren't doing the job, so he had to endure repeatedly getting slapped across the face till the directors got the perfect shot. We feel sorry for him, but we also can't help but let out a chuckle at Hemsworth's poor fate. And then, Tom Hiddleston and Alan Rickman. Tom Hiddleston is many things, from being ethereally good-looking and an impressive actor to being the best Loki representation we could have asked for. But along with his talented acting, he's pretty amazing at impersonations too. Out of the many impressions he's done, our favorite is his mimicking of Alan Rickman. In the scene clip, Tom is seen imitating the Harry Potter actor. Snape, we all know, had a very distinct way of talking, and Hiddleston was so on point with his imitation that, for a moment, we thought Severus Snape had jumped into the MCU. How cool would that be if it actually happened, though? Next, the Ant-Man star isn't getting the Best Parent award anytime soon. We can't decide if this moment is funny or straight up adorable. Paul Rudd had to work with his oh-so-little co-star Abby Ryder, and after watching this blooper, we think Paul might have had a bit of a hard time censoring his language around her. The scene shows how during his confrontation with the Yellow Jacket, Rudd shares a very sweet hug with his daughter. It's a very heartwarming scene in and of itself, though behind the scenes, he might have let out a cuss word while hugging Abby. His hopes that she might have missed it went down the drain when Abby let him know, in the cutest way possible, that she had heard him. Isn't that wholesome? We thought so too. Also, Thor's cape and hammer. Thor's cape was quite the menace during the shooting of Thor the Dark World. It was almost like it had a mind of its own. It was like Hemsworth accidentally put on Doctor Strange's cloak of levitation. The cape refused to cooperate during filming, whether it was blowing in Chris's face during the scenes or wrapping itself around him while he's trying to strike a heroic pose, or even going out of its way to make the actor trip and fall. Calling it a nuisance would be a bit of an understatement, but it's safe to say that the cape made Hemsworth's life a little hard during filming and could even be considered the real villain of the Dark World. Moving on, looks like Thor has the biggest affinity for all the hilarious bloopers out there. We all know about how Mew Mew, aka Mjolnir, can instantly travel to Thor's hands, but what we didn't know was that he isn't all that good at catching it. The actor's attempts to do so looked even more hilarious in slow-mo. During During the Avengers movie, both Chris's are seen grabbing their weapons at the same time. While Captain America doesn't have a hard time grabbing his shield, Thor just can't seem to get a hold of his mighty hammer. Who knew, after all this time, Thor's undoing would be his butterfingers? Not to forget, Ronan has a hidden talent. Guardians of the Galaxy is famous for being the MCU movie that has a number of off-script scenes, so of course, it was going to be on the list. So, alright, who remembers the scene when the Star-Lord caught everyone off guard by challenging his biggest enemy for a dance-off? Now, imagine what it would have looked like if Ronan had actually accepted the dance-off. Well, imagine no longer. This hilarious blooper shows Lee Pace against Chris Pratt, both throwing it down on the dance floor. And if that isn't enough to make you burst out laughing, just wait till they add Gamora and Drax into their dance circle. Finally, RDJ and his humor. By the looks of it, Robert may be retiring from the MCU, so we thought that it was only fair to put everyone's favorite character on top of the list. Don't get us wrong, that isn't the only reason Tony Stark is on top. We gotta credit his charmingly funny personality too, but for us, the funniest blooper from Robert's Iron Man is him making fun of his on-screen wife Gwyneth Paltrow for forgetting her lines. In the scene from Iron Man 3, we see Pepper going up to Tony, telling her how it isn't normal to challenge the world's biggest terrorists right after they just attacked their mansion. We see in the final cut that she had no problem rolling out the dialogue ever so effortlessly, but in the blooper reels, she took her time trying to warn Tony about his madcap behavior. There were several takes for this one dialogue, out of which most ended with both stars bursting out laughing. Gwyneth can't help but laugh at herself. We always knew that these two make an adorable duo, but this was just too wholesome. That's all for this video. What's your favorite blooper from the MCU? Do you have anything to add? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.